Hello, Flipping Junkies. Welcome back to the Flipping Junkie Podcast. I have a Just Ask episode. It's a great one. I got a great question from Kyle Burnett. Thank you for sending that question over to me. I'm happy to help out, and it's one that I was happy to answer because I kind of was thinking a little bit about this as I was switching offices, because we have multiple suites, and Melissa and I actually changed offices, and believe it or not, now she has the bigger office than me. But the question was, so a little bit of background for Kyle. Kyle has been flipping houses for the last year full time, and he's going to be a father in December and wants to get over the hump and ramp up his flipping business. And he was mentioning that he had read some of my earlier material on how some of the struggles that we had in getting going and really getting that business to be more consistent and ramped up, and that's a really common struggle, especially when you are first getting into full-time flipping, because you're just wanting to make sure that you're going to be able to provide for your family and keep everything going. And it all boils down to your funnel, right? And having the leads and deals coming in and having a process for having that happen. And the reason why I say that kind of came up, and I was thinking about that recently as we were moving offices, was I have a bookshelf full of different courses that I had from years, and old Ron LeGrand courses and all kinds of stuff. I think there was probably about like 20 of these courses and different books and stuff like that. And I was looking through it and I was amazed, because I had books on land investing, books on investing using IRAs, books on real estate taxes, on landlording, on everything. And I remember I got most of those in my first couple years in this business, and it was one of those things where I just wanted to dive into all of it and learn all of it, and it wasn't helping me, to be consistent. And so I was, when I got the question from Kyle, I was thinking, okay, what was it then? What got everything consistent? What was the focus then? Where was I? What was I thinking about? And really what it was sitting down and thinking, well, what needs to happen right now? Not order these new books for this new or this new course about probate investing or whatever. Let me focus on what I know works, okay? I'm going to stop looking for all these new ways to get deals and for different ways to do things. I'm going to focus on the core things that investors for decades have been using to get deals, and to get a lot of them, and consistently. And I'm going to try to just stick with it. I'm going to be persistent. And so, back then we were doing a lot of bandit signs, and disclosure that in most places those are illegal, so you need to determine whether you're going to want to put those bandit signs out or whether you need to get permits and all that kind of stuff. So check with your local city about that. But bandit signs, driving for dollars, direct mail, and just different things like that. And so we had those different lead sources that I was really focused on and committed to. And it wasn't like I'm going to order 100 bandit signs, put those out, and then wait. Like it was, I'm going to put out 100 bandit signs every week or every 2 weeks and keep it going and change areas and map out where I had them. And I'm going to drive for dollars, and I'm going to build a system around that where I'm mapping out where I drove this day. Tomorrow I'm going to drive this day, and I'm going to try to make it to where I can mail 200 properties, every week or something like that. And just sticking with that. And the problem with consistency with that is you have a big push to do these things, to do the bandit signs, to do drive for dollars, and sending a letter to the owner, and you get some calls and you get a couple of deals or a deal, and then you get focused on working that deal, and you stop doing those things where you're doing the bandit signs, putting them out, and doing the driving for dollars and all that kind of stuff. And so you need a way to make sure that that's going to happen. So whether it's help, part-time help, friend, family, or hiring somebody even part-time to do those things, to put the bandit signs out, to do some of that work. And we waited too long before we hired people to help us out with things, and just felt like I had to do it all, and I didn't have the time. Like I felt like I needed to keep marketing and doing this stuff or working on this rehab, and didn't want to take the time to try to find somebody. And I urge you not to do that. And I think the key is to kind of set it up yourself and figure out how to best do it. So put those signs out yourself, or map out where they're going to go. Find the best, the fact that you're going to put them on busier intersections and not in the middle of a neighborhood somewhere where not as many people are going to see it. the signs, and then driving for dollars, like, which neighborhoods are best, which ones are you getting best responses from. As you're driving for dollars, do you stop when you see a truly vacant house is obviously vacant, and do you knock on the neighbors' doors, and do you talk to them and say, hey, how can I, do you know where the person that owns this house lives? Do you have contact information for them? I'm interested in buying it and fixing it up and turning this eyesore into a beautiful home again, and they'd be likely to help you. So doing things like that, and leaving a business card or a postcard or a trifold brochure with information about your business testimonials on that vacant house, or with the neighbor, to give to the person that owns it if they do ever stop by their house to check on it. And building out those processes, doing that work yourself, and then having somebody help you to do that as you get into changing hats, because this is all about just getting started in the business and getting that full-time consistency where you feel good about doing things, and then you can ramp it up. But the thing not to do is to, start doing a little bit of bandit signs and then saying, well, I only got one call. I'm going to try to do driving for dollars. I'm going to try to do probate. So how do I need, and you spend hours and hours learning how to try to get the probate listings and mail to them. And you find it kind of hard. So you decide on something else. You get on Bigger Pockets, you get somewhere else, and you say, I need some other deal source. And doing all those things like that, spreads yourself thin, and you're not focused, and building out a good, consistent deal flow through, just a small number of deal sources that have been proven to work for decades and decades. There's a reason why people talk about them, is because they work. And I gave those examples of direct mail of bandit signs and driving for dollars. But, if you want to do direct mail and try to become the best at it. And I did some recent podcast episodes talking about that same thing, about being focused and choosing on just a couple and becoming an expert in those and moving on. And that's really the key to being consistent, getting over the hump, and really ramping up your business. And as you do that, looking always at what can you offload, who can you hire to help you. And a lot of times it's people really willing to work as a independent contractor for $12 an hour. And it's kind of crazy, that for so long we did a lot of the stuff that we could have had somebody else do even better than us, because that was their focus, and that's what we hired them just to do, not to do all these other things that we're trying to do, and not going out there and spending so much time staying in your comfort zone and just learning new techniques of deal finding. It's just picking those and being real solid at those. So that's that's the answer that I gave him, and I wanted to share this with everybody else to help other people that are looking into getting full-time, and then or maybe full-time and finding that getting consistent has been hard, and staying and being consistent with the deals that are coming in. And so that's how you do it. Now, if you want some more support with that, or have specific questions, by all means join our Flip Pilot Facebook group. It's a private group, but you can get an invitation over at flippilot.com and join. What we like to say is everybody in there that are real estate investors, trying to keep a 30,000 foot view of their business and working more on their business instead of in it. So join us there, please, and subscribe on iTunes and leave us a rating and review. It's what keeps this going, and I appreciate everybody that does leave those rating and reviews. And everybody listening out there, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.